الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وعلى من تبع هداهم إلى يوم الدين. Before I start, I would like to first of all apologize regarding the issue of the prayer salah. So regarding the people coming for the prayer, I would like to apologize regarding this, because I was the reason. I just told the brothers in the administration that we do have a session of seminar to do the Hajj, and the Hajj is a very heavy dose, and it's a big package, and it could never be done in one class. And because we haven't done it in the previous years, because we had one class every month, so it would not be possible for me to make two sessions, one session in 1 month, and then the following month will be the second session. But because this year we have two classes every month, this coming week as well we have another class, Jumu'ah same time. That's why it was for me to, at a short notice, to think that it will be, inshallah, so benefiting to make the Hajj seminar in these two sessions. So before I start, I would like to know how many people are going Hajj this year. Put your finger up, please. Too late to raise up your hands. You're thinking about it. 1, 2, 3. Who's the fourth one?
They're not yet. About a couple of them, Sheikh. I think another 3 brothers. But
what are they?
At work.
That's work. Okay. Maybe it's too early today.
Hopefully next week they will be here.
Inshallah. طيب. Right, so put your 1, 2, and 3. Right, can I ask who is the one who've been Hajj before? Put finger up, even including the ones who are going this year. So you're going voluntary this year. You're going Hajj? Who else? You want Hajj? You want Hajj? I just want to know. I just want to know, please. I mean, nobody be shy. And the ones who did not go to Hajj, please. Never got to Hajj. Okay, the ones who never been to Mecca whatsoever. Never been. Okay. Right, the ones who never been to Mecca, can I ask you to be there? Because I'm going to ask you questions in a minute to make sure that every person who hasn't been to Mecca before, go to that side. So this side. Look at here and please watch. Jazakumullah khair. Good. The ones who has not. You've been to Hajj before? You've been to Mecca before? Who's been before to Mecca? Go to this side, please. Okay? The one who's been to Mecca, go to this side. جزاكم الله خير. أنت كنت رحت مكة من قبل صح؟ ما رحت؟ Very good. That's very good. Inshallah. تبارك الله. طيب, it will be inshallah beneficial session. First of all, I'm going to give the Hajj seminar and explain. This seminar, this Hajj PowerPoint presentation, you're able to take it. If you have flash memory, you could take it, or the brothers in the administration, they could take it from me and put it on a email, so you could email it to yourself, and you could use it as well while you're going to Hajj on your mobile. So I've got it in my mobile. Whenever I want something, I will look at it. So it will be beneficial, inshallah. Right, I'm going to start. And so Hajj, I'm going to be talking about introduction, and I'm going to be talking about the importance issue of the Hajj, inshallah. And also I'll be talking about the preparation for Hajj and what to take. Then Hajj and Umrah related definitions, time of Hajj, and also I'll be talking about the types of Hajj and the geographical places of the Hajj and the Umrah, Mawaqeet. Don't worry, everything will be explained inshallah. I'll also be talking about the journey itself, then Umrah step by step, and then after the Umrah we stay a bit in Mecca before we start the Hajj. Then we go to the Hajj step by step. So we're going to talk about each day and what we're going to be doing, and this here will be in the second session. So all of the previous one before the first session, second session will be Hajj step by step. Right. So we're going to be also in that second session talking about a recap and also visiting the Medina. Medina is not part of the Hajj, but it's very good to know the etiquette of visiting the Medina. طيب. Excellence of the Hajj, there are lots of hadith regarding the Hajj. For verily, the Prophet ﷺ, he says, من حج فلم يرفث ولم يفسق رجع كيوم ولدته أمه. Who does make Hajj, performs the Hajj, does not commit any obscenity or commit any evil, will return as sinless as a newborn child. And also the Prophet ﷺ, he said, الحج المبرور ليس له جزاء إلا الجنة. All these ahadith to do with the excellence of the Hajj. And Umar al-Khattab, he says, let him die as a Christian or a Jew. Let him die as a Christian or a Jew. Let him die as a Christian or a Jew. A man who had died yet he did not perform Hajj, and he finds for himself a provision, and Allah Azza wa Jalla, he made it easy for him to make Hajj, and he did not make Hajj, then let him die as a Christian or a Jew. This is a very big threat. Also, Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said the jihad in sabilillah, and after that Hajj Mabrur is the best of the deeds. Also, we find from the ahadith that I wanted to narrate for you, a hadith from the Prophet ﷺ, he says that a person whom I have given him health and I've given him provision, yet 5 years passes upon him, does not come to me, that means to Haram, then he is deprived, la mahrum, deprived from everything. So if you have to visit the Prophet, the Masjid al-Haram or Umrah or Hajj at least once every 5 years. And from the hadith, which we find that it is a mighty hadith, this hadith which is made authentic by our Shaykh al-Albani rahimahullah in Sahih al-Targhib wa al-Tarhib, where Abdullah ibn Umar, he says, I was sitting with the Prophet ﷺ in the Masjid of Mina, a man from the Ansar and a man from Bani Thaqif, tribe of Thaqif, came and said salam to the Prophet ﷺ, Messenger of Allah, we came to ask you. He said to them, if you wish, I'll tell you what you came to ask me for. Or if you wish, I will hold and you'll ask me. He said, Messenger of Allah, you tell us. So the Thaqafi told the Ansari, you step first. Messenger of Allah, tell me, what did I come to ask for? So he said, you came to ask me about the reward you're going to get as soon as you come out of your house, heading towards the Haram for Hajj, and your 2 rak'ah after the circumambulation, Tawaf around the Kaaba, and the reward of yours when you do the Safa and Marwa Sa'y, and the reward of yours when you stand on Arafah, and the reward of yours when you throw the Jamarat, and what do you get when you slaughter your hadi, and what do you get when you shave your head, and you're asking me as well about your circumambulation around the Kaaba, and what you're going to be getting for that. So he said, by the one who sent you with the truth, I came to ask you for this. So he said, verily, when you come out of the house of yours, heading towards the Haram, every step that your she-camel traverses towards the Kaaba, Allah will give you a hasana and wipe off a sayyi'ah. Now, none of us are going on camels. We're going by planes or cars or whatever, trains. Don't worry about how to calculate the steps of the she-camels, okay? It will be given to you. So you don't have to worry what is the kilometers equal to how many steps in the camel. Don't worry with yourself for that. But just imagine if you are doing with a camel, how many steps you're gonna do all the way to the Haram. That will give you a hasana and wipe off a sayyah. Then he said, as for you 2 rak'ah after Tawaf, it's like setting free a slave from the children of Ismail. Children of Ismail means that the most expensive slave. And we don't have slave to free, but there's an opportunity for us to free slaves. As for your sa'i between Safa and Marwa, it's like setting free 70 slaves. As for you standing in Arafah, for verily Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala descends to the nearest heaven, a descendance which is suitable to His Majesty. And He will boast before His angels, saying, look at my slaves. They came to me with uncombed hair from everywhere. seeking my paradise. For verily, if their sins is to be as many as the particles of the dust, or the sand, or as many as the drops of the rain, or as the froth scum or the scum of the sea, then I would have forgiven that. Go ahead, my slaves, for I have forgiven for you, and for those you have interceded for as well. And as for your throwing the jamarat, for every jamara you throw, a major sin will be forgiven. And as for your slaughtering, then this will be saved with your Lord. And as for your shaving of your head, for every single hair you shave, Allah will give you hasana and remove a sayyah. For those who are bold, don't worry as well. Even you're going to shave nothing, but Allah will give you hasanat and remove sayyat. And as for your tawaf with the house, then you will make tawaf and there will be no sins upon you. The angel will come and put his hands between his shoulders. Even you're going to feel that. The angel will put his hands between his shoulders and he would say, go ahead and do in the future, for everything in the past has been forgiven. What a mighty reward that you're going to get for the Hajj. And that is why what we need is Hajj Mabrur. Prophet ﷺ said, Hajj al-Mabrur, a Hajj, it will give you Jannah. Hajj is to do the following three things. Number one is that Hajj with sincerity. So you're going there, sincerity to please Allah Azza wa Jalla. You're not going there to get Haji title. You know, people go just Haji, became Haji now. And like the army, they get lieutenant, colonel. So he's going now engineer, doctor, Haji. So again, they get the title Haji. Lots of people like that. Haji. If you tell him so and so, before he had made Hajj, said, I'm not so and so, Haji so and so. Okay. You're not going to get the Hajj al-Mabrur. Second thing is that you make the Hajj according to the Prophet ﷺ Sunnah. So I need to learn how the Prophet of Allah performed the Hajj. I can't just put my head with the heads and do as the people do, because the people are ignorant. Most of the people who go to Hajj are ignorant. So we make a percentage, more than 80% are ignorant. 20% are the ones who know what to do. And the rest of them don't know. Just going there, Hajj. Some of them they went there because they want to beg. Some of them they want to just go and buy something from there. So you see a lot in the Kaaba there, ignorance. Third issue, that you're halal money. So these three issues, very important for Hajj al-Mabrur. Sincerity, following the steps of the Prophet, and also halal source. You don't really make Hajj with gambling money, with stolen money. A'udhu billah. You're going to make Hajj. And no question now, because you're going to be asking question. I'm going to stop the lecture. Questions after the lecture you could ask me, inshallah. Jazakallah. Hajj and include righteous deeds, providing the food for pilgrims and spreading good words. Okay, let's start. The important issues of the Hajj. We know that the Hajj is the fifth pillar. Islam was built upon five. Shahadatan, testimony. La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. Number two, salah. Prayer. Number three, zakah. Money. Charity. Number four, fasting. Month of Ramadan. Number five, Hajj for the one who's capable. So the fifth pillar. And Hajj and Umrah are obligatory only once in your lifetime. As for Hajj, with a consensus. As for Umrah, it's a controversial, but the correct opinion, Umrah is compulsory once in your lifetime, which is the madhab of Imam Ahmad rahmatullah. So Hajj and Umrah once in your lifetime, just once. After that you make Hajj or Umrah, it becomes voluntary. So if you make Hajj tamattu', don't worry about the word tamattu', this is one of the types of the Hajj, that's include Umrah. Same thing with Hajj Qiran, that's include Umrah. Then that would suffice you. So you go just one trip, which will include Umrah and Hajj, and that suffices you. To the extent, the scholars, they said, if the person made Hajj while he was a Muslim, then he committed apostasy, left Islam. He returned back to Islam back again. He doesn't need to have to make Hajj again. It's once in your lifetime. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
So if he had made Hajj when he was a Muslim, then he became a kafir, then he turned back to Islam, he doesn't have to make it again. Khalas, once in a lifetime. Hajj was made obligatory on the 10th year after Hijrah. That's controversial as well. And when we say it's obligatory on the 10th year of Hijrah, that's very important. Because the Prophet of Allah, he made the Hajj on the 10th year after Hijrah. And if we said it was made obligatory well before, I mean the Hajj is not compulsory as soon as you are ready for Hajj. But if we said it was compulsory the 10th year, then we are now having a stronger opinion for those scholars who say that as soon as you have the conditions that makes Hajj obligatory are there, then you have to do it without delay. Can't delay it. So once it becomes compulsory, that's why the Prophet of Allah became compulsory. He made Hajj, and all the companions went with the Prophet of Allah. Even the pregnant women were about to deliver, and they delivered on the way. They gave birth on the way, just for the sake of making Hajj with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now, what are these conditions which, if they are met, then the person, Hajj becomes compulsory upon him, and he will be sinned if he doesn't make the Hajj. If you put these 5 conditions for a male and 6th one addition to the female, then Hajj becomes what? Compulsory. Which we call in Arabic shurut wujub al-Hajj. Conditions for Hajj to be what? Compulsory. Number 1, Muslim. If he's not a Muslim, we don't allow him even to go to Kaaba anyway. He has to be what? Muslim. That's the first condition. And this condition also is a condition for acceptance and a condition for sufficiency. And you have to understand that in Arabic. This condition is not just shartu wujub, shartu sihhatin wa shartu ijza'. It's a condition that this Hajj is what? Valid. And it's a condition that this Hajj will suffice you. Ijza'. Second condition, pay attention. If you have got a pen, you'll have no problem. If you've got no pen, this will let you down. Mark my words. We're going to ask you questions now. Number 2, adult. Adulthood is a condition for making it compulsory, but it's not condition for it is to be correct. The child can make Hajj, but it's a condition for sufficing. He could make a Hajj, but it will not compensate for his Hajj, which is obligatory once in his lifetime. Do you understand that? So being an adult is not a condition for validation. Hajj is valid for the child, but it's conditioned for sufficing. It will not be sufficient. He has to become adult for his Hajj to be valid for his lifetime. But it is a condition for, that is, making it compulsory upon you once you become an adult. Third condition, sanity. Sain, aql. Condition of sanity is not just a condition for becoming compulsory, but also, can I just ask you to fill up the gaps, ya ikhwan? Fill up the gaps. Come here, Shaykh. Come here next to me. I don't like, brother. Okay, you just were there. Come here to next, fill up the gaps, ya ikhwan, because this is problem. Is come here, ikhwan. Come here. Jazakumullah khair. Sitting in the back, vulnerable for the shaitan. Third condition, sanity. This condition is also for validation. So if this person made Hajj when he was insane, you understand me? Majnoon. It will not valid. It will not be valid at all. He's not required to make Hajj anyway. It's a condition for, and also condition for as well, it will not be sufficing. So this sanity is important. Number 4, freedom. Freedom means if he's a slave, this condition is for not validation. It will be valid if he's free, if he's a slave, but it's not. It's a condition for sufficing. So just like the child, his Hajj will be acceptable, but if he gets free, Then he has to make what? Hajj. So if he's a slave, his Hajj is accepted, but it will not be sufficient. Just like the child, his Hajj will be accepted, he will be rewarded, even if he's a child, but he will not be sufficient when he becomes what? An adult. You know the child, he's got one angel writing for him. Who's that? The right one. The left one is holding. That right one writes everything good deeds that he does. Salah, Siyam, Hajj, everything. So that if his parents, mashallah, religious people, they're gonna make him have a lot of hasanat before the left angel start to writing a sin. And that is when he what? Is an adult. So that left angel will only start writing when he's what? An adult. Before he becomes an adult, mashallah, this one on the right is writing, everything. So every Hajj you will be writing, Hajj, hasanat, everything. The one on the left is holding. Same thing with that. Here the slave, his Hajj will be accepted, valid, but it will not be sufficient for his lifetime Hajj. They say a story regarding a scholar, Abu Uwana al-Waddah ibn Abdullah al-Yashkuri. Great scholar, but he was a slave. In the time of Hajj, there was a person who was poor. He needed money. So he came to him and he asked him. So this scholar, he started now collecting money for him. He went to this and this and this. He got him money. And he gave it to him. And he was so happy, the poor. Then he went. Then he asked about this person. Who's this guy? Jazakallah khair, and went for me. Don't you know him? He's Abu Uwana al-Waddah ibn Abdullah al-Yashkuri. Great scholar. But he's a slave. He said, he's a slave? Subhanallah. So he started now making a rumor to the people of the Hajj. By the way, the master of Abu Uwana al-Waddah ibn Abdullah al-Yashkuri had set his slave free. Go and thank him. He made a lie. Rumor. So all the people went to the master, said, oh, Jazakallahu khairan, you set the scholar free, MashaAllah, Tabarakallah, may Allah reward you. He didn't set him free. But when he saw lots of people coming to him, he said, what? He is what? Free. When he freed him, it was on the day of Arafah. And if you are on the day of Arafah, became adult, or you became free, then that Hajj will be sufficient for your lifetime. Do you understand that? So if this boy, this child, he went for Hajj, and he's still not an adult, on the day of Arafah, okay? He had a wet dream. To become an adult, either become 15 years old, or a wet dream, or a pubic hair. So he had a wet dream. Then he became what? An adult. If he became an adult on the day of Arafah, that Hajj is sufficient. As long as he has this wet dream, or he has his freedom if he's a slave, before the Fajr of the day of the Eid. Khalas. It becomes what? Sufficient for him for his Hajj lifetime. Fifth one, capability. Capability is a condition for it to be compulsory upon you, but it's not a condition for validation. If you are not capable, you're poor and somebody gave you money to go, and you borrowed money to go, your Hajj is sufficient, is sufficient, and is valid, but it's not compulsory upon you. Do you understand that? And this capability is to do with health, safety of the route, the transport, the provision. There's nobody looking for you, for example, you are running away from a prison sentence. That's all of it within capability. The sixth is for the women, and that is a husband or a mahram. The mahram, he has to fulfill three conditions: male, adult, and sane. Have you noticed there is something there missing? Mahram, which is not missing, but something you think maybe supposed to be for the mahram condition, and that is, look at it, mahram has to be male, adult, and what? Sane. People think that he's to be what? Muslim. No, he doesn't have to be a Muslim. Do you understand that? The mahram doesn't have to be a Muslim. So a revert sister, her father is what? mahram, even he's a Christian. Okay? Do you understand that? We can't say that her father's not a mahram. He's her mahram. He's her father or her brother. It's a mahram. Yes, we don't allow him to go to Kaaba or Medina, but he's a mahram. Do you understand that? So the mahram doesn't have. And by the way, this sixth condition for the women, if she's traveling, but she's Makkeen, she doesn't need a mahram. She lives in Mecca. She performs the Hajj in Mecca anyway. She doesn't need what? Mahram. The mahram is for the journey. If she's going from here, for example. Okay? Now, let's say, for example, a poor person, he decided to go to Hajj, and Hajj is not compulsory upon him. Is Hajj sufficient or not? Is it valid or not? Okay. A woman, I'm going to ask you now the conditions, and you're going to tell me. The conditions which makes the Hajj compulsory upon you, how many they are for the male? 5. And how many for the female?
6.
Let's count the 5. Muslim, adult, sane, free, and capability. For the women, we add husband or conditions of validity. Shurut sahhat al-Hajj. Tell me what they are and put your finger up. Shurut sahha. This is the shurut, conditions for Hajj to become compulsory. I want the conditions from those which make Hajj valid. Come on, guys. Come on. From these.
Must be an adult.
If he's not adult, not accepted? I'm asking you, if he's not an adult, is your child is not accepted?
It's accepted.
It's valid. I'm just saying, what is the conditions that the Hajj will be valid? So if it's not there, this condition, he'll be invalid. Which one is he said? What? Muslim. We said, if it's not if somebody's a kafir, made Hajj, is it valid?
No.
And then he became a Muslim. Make Hajj. Well, I made a Hajj when I was a kafir. No, it's not accepted. What's the second condition? Sane. Correct. So if he's insane, he's invalid. That's only 2 conditions for the Hajj to be what? Valid. Learn. What are the conditions for the Hajj to be sufficient? Put your finger up if you know. The Hajj to be sufficient, that means sufficing you for the whole life of your, because it requires me for you once in your life. Now, yes? Huh? Adult. What do you want?
Slave. Free man. Yes, free man.
Free? Adult free?
Capability.
Huh? Capability. Capability. If it's not capable, it's not sufficient. I'm poor, I want to go. I want to poor, it's not sufficient for me. So if I went with poor, brother, make Hajj. I made Hajj when I was poor. It's not acceptable for him? It is acceptable. So, let's say it again. Adult and free. What else? Huh? Muslim. It has to be Muslim. You can't be Muslim all the time is there. Can't be sufficient without Muslim. Start with the beginning. Muslim. Adult. Free and? Sane, ya akhi. You have to be sane to be sufficient. It will not even be valid if it's insane. Okay, 4 conditions. Does he have to be capable? No. Does she have to have mahram for being sufficient? No. So this woman, she decided to go without a mahram. Sinful or not sinful? Sinful. But sufficient or not sufficient? Sufficient. So if we said to her, make Hajj, sister. I made Hajj, but without a mahram. We don't say she's invalid. We don't say that it is well insufficient. It is sufficient. But you've been sinned. Do you understand that now? Okay, good. Alhamdulillah. Following slides. Important issue regarding the Hajj. It is highly recommended for the wife, the woman, to seek the condition, the Hajj, to fulfill the Hajj, to seek her wali's permission. Her wali could be her husband, it could be her father, depending upon if she's married or not married. It could be her father, could be her brother if his father is not there. Okay, if she had fulfilled her condition, then the permission should be granted to her. But if he does not grant her the permission, that is the wali, the guardian, then he will be sinned. And she's allowed to go without his approval, because he's preventing him from one of the pillars of Islam. But do we advise that? No. We don't advise the woman to go without the consent of her dad. No, we advise her to go without the consent of her husband. She's going to go to Hajj and end up divorced. She comes back. We don't advise her. A woman on her menses, she can do Hajj. She could do everything that the Hajj does, except for the following: Tawaf around the Kaaba. And our Shaykh al-Albani says also Sa'y, because Sa'y is called Tawaf in the Quran. Well, there's always Tawaf linked to the Sa'y. And also she can't do the prayer. Can she fast? She can't fast, but fast is not a ritual from the Hajj. In the Hajj we do pray and we do Tawaf. We don't do fast. Do you understand me? Yes, the menstrual woman, she can't fast. Important issues in Hajj. The non-adult and slave Hajj is considered valid. I've just said that before. But it will not suffice for their obligatory Hajj. The Hajj of a child is treated as an adult. That means in terms of fulfilling the obligations and avoiding the prohibitions. But there will be no sin on this child if he had done something wrong. If he left an obligation or committed a prohibited act. But this child, if is old enough, like these children of ours here, they're old enough, we will be teaching them how to say their rituals. So they will say, Labbaik Allahumma labbaik, labbaik la sharik. We will teach them that. But if he's a baby, he's not going to say Labbaik Allahumma labbaik. You will say it on his behalf. He's not going to say Labbaik Allahumma bi Umrah. You're going to say it on his behalf, because he's not able. Now, if you have Hajj compulsory upon you, and you have only that amount of money, which is enough for the Hajj, and yet you are in persisting need for getting married, we will say you're allowed to postpone your Hajj for the following year and get married. But if you haven't got persisting need, you're cold, you're not really hot to get married, then make the Hajj first and then go to the marriage inshallah the following year, depending upon your situation. Preparing for the Hajj, sincerity, important, and debt. Make sure that you use as well your halal sources. Learn about the Hajj as much as you can, just like you now, attending lectures. Memorize some of the dua. Learn about Salat al-Janazah, because you're going to be doing a lot of Janazah prayer, funeral prayer. Every day in the Haram, there is a death. Not every day, in every Salah. So you have 5 daily prayers, you have Salat al-Janazah 5 times a day. Not a single prayer except there will be a Janazah prayer. So learn how to do it. Salat al-Safar, traveling prayer as well, learn to do it. Etiquette of visiting the graves, learn it. And medical checkup. Let's go to the debts. Now the debts, to be debt free is not a condition for performing the Hajj. But we don't really advise you to go and get a loan to make Hajj, because it's not compulsory upon you. Okay? Now ensure that your debts are recorded very well. What to take? Documents, which is going to be done by the company that you're going with. When you're packing to a Hajj, make yourself as light as possible. More items, more headache. Everything is available in Saudi Arabia. Okay? The only important thing that you need to carry with you is your medical. So if you've got medical, because sometimes you can't really find your medical there. Okay? That's the most important thing. Right, essential things, ihram towels. If you're going straight away to, let's say for example, Jeddah, you're not going to Medina, then you have to buy your towels from here for the men in order to perform your Hajj rituals while you're having state of Ihram. So buy your towels from here. But if you are going to Medina first, then you have available there towels to buy if you wish, because you're going to be making Ihram from Medina. Money is in Saudi Arabia, everything's available. Medication, you take it from here. The traveling belt is very important. So you can put your documents, you wrap it around your waist, and make sure it's not shown to people, because unfortunately, even if it is Hajj season, but it's also stealing season, because there are people there just going there for the sake of that, lots of congestions and people rubbing shoulders and all of that, and those people go for the first time, they're vulnerable. They end up losing a lot of money. Okay? Who had experienced when you went to Hajj or Umrah, people being stolen? Put your finger up. Okay. I had a person in my group, gone with the first time, and they had 400 pounds that is 1993 talking about. That's a lot of money. All of it's gone. He just went to have food. And it was lots congested for food, and all of them, somebody took it from his pocket and it's gone. And he thinks people going to Hajj, mashallah, Sahaba. That's what he thinks. There are thieves there. They'll take your money. طيب. What to take? Comfortable clothes, especially in these days, are really hot. Women wear their normal clothes, comfortable clothes, avoid all these hot. It's in the winter, if it's Hajj in the winter, you could take warm jackets. The socks are very important, summer or winter. Because if you're not in a state of Ihram, you want to make voluntary Tawaf, that will help you a lot. If you're in a state of Ihram as a male, you're not allowed to cover your feet with socks. Slippers or sandals, now this is very important because people, they don't know what to put on, they think it's the norm. You could put this, you could put that, you could put this as well. All of that is permissible. No problem. Shoes is no problem, as long as it's not a khuf to cover the ankles, or socks. Khuf is socks made of leather, and the socks are khuf made of wool. Al-khuffu jawrabun masnu'un min al-suf, wal-jawrabu khuffun masnu'un. إذن al-khuffu jawrabun masnu'un min al-jild. It's the opposite, same thing. The khuf is just like a sock. So these ones are allowed. Okay. For sleeping, mainly in Muzdalifah, ask your company, because you have nothing to do. Basically, you're sleeping in the open space. We call it the 100-star hotel, because all stars on top of you. Sleeping just openly like that. Whereas in the normal hotel, you got 5 stars, 7 stars maximum. But this 100 stars. So you need a fleece or blanket, especially for the heat, because there's a heat coming from the floor, from the ground, cooking you. So these pillows and all of that. And some of the people like these things as well. So these, for example, face mask. Some people that can't sleep without eye cover. And earplugs. Some of the people can't sleep next to somebody who's snoring. And this becomes annoying, those little things. There is when you go to Mecca, and if the person who's the one who's touring you there from your company, if he knows, he will take you there. There's a museum made by the the government to show the Haji, which we call it the Haji gadgets. You know the gadgets? Haji gadgets, that's what I call it. I call it Haji gadgets, which makes your Hajj and staying in the Haram as comfortable as possible. So they show you the latest technology, from the chairs, from the thing that can support your back. Do you understand? All these little things that help you. Okay? Haji gadgets, call it. Very nice. You learn a lot from that. And also this very old beads, if you want, a counter. This is not for tasbih. It's for counting your tawaf. Some people make the tawaf, which round I am. So he ends up doing 20 instead of 7. With this congestion and people making things. So you got one, and sometimes you put stones in your pocket. So put 7. Each time you make tawaf, take 1 stone, put it in the other pocket. Like that, put it in. Okay? Some person, he was doing with his fingers like this. 1, when he does 1. And he had a congestion, he had somebody, and he was about 4, and then his fingers opened. And what was it? 4, 3, 2, you can't remember. Had a bang. This is very important issues as well for people who are experienced. They know what I'm talking about, which is lubrication. Women and men, between the legs, because the sweat, especially the ones who are fat. Okay, they need that. Otherwise, they're gonna be walking like a penguin. You know the penguin? You can't even walk normally because of the pain. So painful. Even might stop you from performing the Hajj. So lubrication before, I'm talking before and after and within, always between the legs. Bag for carrying the shoes, normally the company will provide that, to carry your shoes with it. And bag for your pebbles when you go to Rami al-Jamarat. Very soon you're going to be given the pebbles, mashallah, clean and done for you, very soon. I've seen the sample for that last year. Okay, so they're giving you like a little mashallah Jamarat. They're taking the stones and they're grinding it and they're giving to the people. It's very good. Okay, but I don't know what's going to end up, and maybe people are going to, these are washed by Zamzam, a good Jamarat. They will hit the shaitan properly. Or these Jamarat being touched by Pir Sab. You know Pir Sab? Holy man. Allah al-Musta'an. Small authentic book now these days, your mobile. Your mobile is everything. Okay, your mobile is everything. Communication, that's the mobile. What you need for your mobile, your charger. If your charger is not a special one, you can get it there. But if it's a special one, get it from here. Make sure that you don't really waste your time to look for a charger. Okay, make sure that your mobile is turned off in the masjid. A lot of patience you need, akhi. For those who've been on this side to the haram, how much patience do you need to be there? Oh, he's shaking his head. Oof, a lot. Oof. And I shake my head all over them. You have to hold yourself. Wallahi, you might snap and lose your temper for the amount of ignorance and rudeness and impoliteness of these people. How do these people behave like this? Amazing. So patience, don't lose it. So لا جدال في الحج لا فسوق في الحج. Can't argue, can't really, so you have to hold, be patient. You'll find lots of people, you know, just, I don't know, they're doing Hajj, are they, these people? Try to change things with wisdom. Ask Allah to help you and be positive. What you are concerned of is to have Hajj Mabrur. Accept your Hajj, inshallah. The definition, I'm going to leave that. We're going to go to the following slides. The months of the Hajj. We know that we have 12 months in the year. The 3 months for the Hajj are Shawwal, Dhul, Qa'dah, Dhul Hijjah. But the month of the Hajj itself, they are in the last month. These days are the 8th, the 9th, the 10th, 11th, and the 12th. So why, if we have the days of the Hajj in the month of the Hajj, Dhul Hijjah, why do we consider Shawwal and Dhul Qa'dah months of Hajj? Because for those who are doing Qiran or doing Tamattu', which is starting with Umrah, they may start their Umrah as early as Shawwal. So they start, but they cannot start it before Shawwal. These last 3 days, which is 12th and 11th and 13th, are called days of Tashriq. So in the 12th month, Dhul Hijjah, we have the 8th day called Tarwiyah, 9th day called Arafah, 10th day called Eid al-Adha, and the 11th and the 12th and the 13th called the days of Tashriq. The types of Hajj are 3 types. And the Prophet of Allah commanded the companion to do which type? First one, Tamattu'. Umrah first, during the month of Hajj. Then he takes off state of Ihram, no Umrah. Then when the 8th day of the Hijjah arrives, he makes Hajj. It's required a Hadi. Why is it called Tamattu'? Because you are not in state of Ihram all the way. You make an Umrah first, taking the Ihram first, and then after that you make the Hajj. As for the Qiran, as soon as you make the Umrah, you are state of Ihram all the way until you finish your Hajj. As for the Ifrad, is only Hajj on its own. And it does not require sacrificial. Prophet of Allah commanded his companions to do Tamattu'. Hajj locations. The geographical place is called the Mawaqeet. These are boundaries. If the person intending Hajj or Umrah, he may not pass them until he had declared state of Ihram. So if a person who is intending Hajj or Umrah crossed the miqat, okay, and we told him, brother, you crossed the miqat, you should say labbaik Allahumma bi Umrah. Oh, I forgot. Oh, didn't know. There's no such thing. Go back. There's no such thing. I forgot. Go back. Oh, you know, it's been 50 miles, you know. Oh, I've driven 100 miles now. Go back, brother. If you don't go back now, when you went, is your Hajj valid? It is valid. But the scholars differed now. It is valid with a sin, with a consensus. You're sinned, unless you go back. But does he need to slaughter, which we call it an expiation? That is something to expiate them. Or he doesn't? Controversial. Most of the scholars, they said yes. Some of the scholars said no. But all of them agreed that they should go back. If he doesn't go back, he's sinned. Fine. Al-Mawaqeet is being set by the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, and there are 5 Mawaqeet. Let's see them. This is here, Mecca. This is where you're going to be going. That's Medina here. Medina is here. Can you see the Medina? That's Medina. My dear boy, focus. You're losing a lot of information. Medina. And here Jeddah. Okay, this is the Red Sea. On the top, here in the north, is Bilad al-Sham. And here is in this area, Iraq. And Yemen is underneath. Right, these are the boundaries, the dotted lines. The farthest one is called Dhul for people coming from Medina or from that direction. Any people passing, they want to do Hajj or Umrah, they may not pass Dhul, which is about 8 miles away from Medina, and 255 miles away from what? Mecca. That's called Dhul Hulayfa. In this Dhul Hulayfa, it's a special place called Wadi al-Aqiq, the valley of al-Aqiq. It's a blessed valley. And the Prophet of Allah, when he made his ihram from there, he prayed 2 rak'ah, not for the ihram, for the sacred valley. So if you make an ihram from other places, there's no 2 rak'ah, where people confuse these 2 rak'ah for 2 rak'ah of ihram. Only if you pass by Dhul Hulayfa by land, not by air, because you have to be in the land, in the valley itself, to offer the 2 rak'ah for this blessed valley. Another one which is called Rabigh, or the original name Al-Juhfa, coming from North Africa, from Syria, coming from the coastline, 116 miles north of Mecca. Okay, and by the way, it's called Rabigh, but now they built a Juhfa, mashallah, inside. Right, Dhatu Irq, for people coming from Iraq, 55 miles. And Qarn al-Manazil, people coming from Riyadh, from Najd, that's 50 miles. And Yalamlam, 80 miles, coming people from Yemen, from that side. طيب, this is called the Mawaqeet. Now Jeddah is not a miqat. So if you landed in Jeddah in your plane and you did not assume ihram, you have to go back. So if you landed, you have to take a taxi to the place where your plane came from. So if you came from Rabigh, this side from the north, you go to this one. Came from the Medina, go to that one. You have to take a taxi, go to the miqat. Now the boundaries for Hajj, it's called Mawaqeet and Umrah, and this now boundaries of the Haram, the sanctuary area. Haram means sanctuary, holy. Haram. Who made this Mecca Haram? Ibrahim alayhi salam. And Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam made Medina to be Haram. This Haram implies the following. Number one, the plants must not be cut, except for scented grass called idkhir. And also the hunt, the game must not be frightened, nor it must be, nor it should be hunted. You cannot hunt, cannot frighten. And articles which are found there, you cannot claim them. You have leave them or to pick them and give them to the lost and found officers. Not to bear arms in that area. These restrictions apply also to the Medina. Now this is the Haram boundary. You'll find like this big signs. It says beginning of Haram boundary. So, which is behind this boundary is from the Haram. So this wall, this car is inside the Haram. Okay? Whereas the camera which is taking the picture is outside the boundary. Okay? Right. This is the Haram Makkah map. Okay? This is the Kaaba. And this is the area of city of Mecca. This is Arafah, Mina, and Muzdalifah. Those are the places for Hajj. Arafah, Muzdalifah, Mina, and the Kaaba. Those are the places for Hajj. And they exist within 13 miles, 13.5 miles together. Okay? Muzdalifah, Mina, and Arafah. You can see Kaaba here, then Mina, then Muzdalifah, then Arafah. These are the places for the Hajj. That's it. This direction is to Jeddah, and this direction is to Medina. So let's just now sketch for that. The boundaries of the Haram are the following names. Starting from the top, on the right, Ja'arrana, and Nakhla, and then Arafah, Libn, and Hudaybiyah, and Tan'een. They call it Masjid Aisha. These are the Haram area. And in terms of distance, 13.5 miles the furthest away from them. Each one's got how many miles? This is the Haram. Now let's just put the Haram with the Mawaqeet. That's Mecca. That's the Haram. And this is the Mawaqeet. So the Mawaqeet, Dhul Hulayfa, Dhatu Irq, Qarn al-Manazil, Yalamlam, and Al-Juhfa. Jeddah is not a miqat, is inside the miqat. طيب. Dua for the journey, which is any journey that you do. Allahu Akbar, 30 times, Subhanalladhi sakhara lana hadha, to the end of the dua, which everybody should know whenever you make a travel, a journey. Now we're coming to the Umrah step by step. Umrah step by step. Let's just go to the summary. The summary is only this. This is the Umrah. 4 things: Ihram, Tawaf, Sa'y, and Halq. Translation: Ihram, to say the words just like Allahu Akbar for the Salah. Ihram, Labbaik Allahum bi Umrah. Tawaf, rotation around the Kaaba. Sa'y, going between Safa and Marwa. And Halq, that is shaving or trimming. That's Umrah. Khalas, finished. Very simple. طيب. The pillars are Tawaf and Sa'y, and the obligations is Ihram and Halq. So if a person did not do Ihram, did not do the Halq, he had left a wajib. But if he did not do the Tawaf, he had invalidated his what? His Umrah. Okay? So Tawaf and Sa'y are what? Pillars. If you don't do them, your Umrah is invalid. But if you did not do Ihram, you sinned. If you don't do the shaving, you're sinned. But it does not invalidate your Umrah. Okay? Now, if you make an Ihram, if you are coming from the area A, outside the Mawaqeet like us, Europe, Africa, Medina, etc., assume Ihram on that boundary or just before it. Because if you're coming by plane, you know, you have to do it just about before it, because the plane is going fast. You don't want to cross it before you utter the words of making you in a state of Ihram. If you're coming from inside those Mawaqeet, area B, then you don't go back outside, you go from your place, okay, towards Mecca. And if you are coming from area C, which is inside the Haram areas, okay, then there is no Umrah on you. There's only what? Hajj. All Meccanees, no Umrah for them. Do you understand that? They only have Hajj. There's no Umrah, because they are Meccanees. Unless one of them went out and you want to do something and he's coming back again, there's no problem. But not that deliberately come out. No, just coming for something. Then he could make Umrah while he's going home to Mecca. طيب. Ihram for Umrah. Preparation for Ihram. It is recommended to take shower for Ihram. So if you go into Jeddah, take your shower here. This shower with the intention of Ihram. Okay? Ghusl. It's not compulsory, it's recommended. It is permissible and advisable. I'm not saying sunnah to clip your mustache and nails and remove your pubic hair. You could make yourself clean, and rub in between and Vaseline and all of that. Permissible to put perfume on your body. So you could just have a shower of perfume, no problem. So you have a shower, mashallah, perfume. Perfume yourself. All over, mashallah. But don't put the perfume where? Onto the ihram clothes, the towels. Right, this is for the men, by the way. Women are not allowed to put perfume. Whether they are in a state of ihram or not in a state of ihram. You don't want the men to smell them and start, go behind them. It's not allowed. Fitna. Put ihram garments, which is for the men. Pray the prescribed salah. Let's say, for example, dhuhr, or if it's dhuhr or asr, whatever time it is. Okay? And pray the 2 rak'ah if you are making ihram from Dhul Hulayfa. Remember the Wadi al-Aqiq, the valley of al-Aqiq. Now to put the ihram clothes, I would have loved for you, inshallah, next time you prepare for us the towels of ihram here, so you could show the people how to put the ihram clothes for those who are going to Umrah or going to Hajj, because there is technique as well. Huh?
We have.
Hat.
I can get it in my car. I can bring it if you want.
Okay, we will. Huh?
I already got some.
Yes, we will. It's better to have it. Can you bring it now?
Yeah.
Is it too far?
No, it's just.
I'll wait for you for 1 minute. Counting. A break for 1 minute. Right. I'm going to show you in a minute, inshallah, to put the izar. Right. Now, up to this point, all what we did is just preparation. So, your intention is already being done since you've decided to make your Hajj or Umrah. But now we're going to be saying these words just like when we say Allahu Akbar, the normal salah. We're going to say the following words, which is Labbaik Allahumma bi'umrah. This will start your ihram. So you're going to be in a state of ihram from that point. So you are now not allowed to do certain things. It becomes upon you haram. Like, for example, cutting your hair, cutting your nails, perfuming yourself or perfuming your clothes, or for example covering your head as a male. All of that is not allowed after you say these words. Labbaik Allahumma bi'umrah. طيب. Now let's just as well, it's recommended to add the following words straight after your umrah. After this word, saying Allahumma umratan la riya'a fiha wa la sum'a. Oh Allah, I intend umrah without showing off. And also you add, and that's recommended. Some of the scholars said you don't have to do it unless you are ill, but you do it because you don't know what's going to happen to you. And that is that, oh Allah, Allahumma mahilli haythu habastani. Oh Allah, I declare state of no ihram wherever you restrain me. Say, for example, you have said these words, and while you are making tawaf, you slided, slipped, broke your arm, can't continue. Then if you said these words, all you have to do, just put your normal clothes and that's it, go home, because you can't finish your umrah. But if you haven't said these words, then if you're not allowed, if you can't continue and you start putting your clothes on, then there is a penalty to be paid, and that is a hadi. Number 2, you have to compensate in the following year for that Hajj or Umrah. Whereas if you said these words, there's no compulsion upon you, obligation upon you to do that or repeat that Hajj or Umrah. Okay? So say these words, inshallah, will be better. Right, after you started your ihram, repeat the following Talbiyah aloud, and that is Labbaik Allahumma labbaik, labbaik la sharika laka labbaik, inna al-hamda wa ni'mata laka wal mulk la sharika lak. That's the first type of Talbiyah. The second one, Labbaik ilaha al-haq. You just repeat that one, Labbaik ilaha al-haq, Labbaik ilaha al-haq. When you say the Talbiyah, Labbaik Allahumma labbaik, which is the people they say it, don't fall into this melody that the people they do. This melody has got 2 mahadir, no good things. Number one, a melody is something that makes the person not having khushu', singing a song. Number two, the way they say it is wrong. You know what I'm talking about. لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك. I'm not saying it fast. إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك. All of it for the melody. I don't know who is the first person to innovate this melody. Okay? I don't know. But innal hamda, why are you breaking the sentence? It's like you're reading the Fatiha like this. Alhamdu lillah rabbil alameen. Is that right to recite the Fatiha this way? Same thing is wrong to do. Innal hamda wan ni'mata laka wal mulk. You're making this sentence 3 sentences. So how did you do it? لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك. Now for those who've been doing Hajj and Umrah, you're going to find it a bit difficult at the beginning to do this. They're going to say إن الحمد and then it's going to stop because they got used to stop إن الحمد stop. How do we learn this? The book doesn't say that to you. Only when you go with students of knowledge or you go with scholars. That's why I tell the brothers, when you look at the Hajj package, don't look how cheap it is. Look who's going with you. Regardless whether it's cheap or expensive. Who is going with you? A bunch of ignorance teaching ignorance? Ignorance altogether, going ignorance. MashaAllah. And their Shaykh is Shaykh ignorant. So when there's something happen, he doesn't know how to answer the question. I don't know, brother. I'm just good in saying to you, go in the bus, outside the bus, go to the plane. You need somebody to teach you. So when you go like this, when you hear the scholars, when you go with them, they will teach you that. Then when you will learn that when they say these words, I have seen them, as soon as they start with this, they are in tears, crying. Because they're saying it, Inna al-hamda wa ni'ma. It's a song, akhi. And you don't feel this person is putting his sincerity in it, if you understand me. I've seen people, wallah, breaking into tears and crying. Can't continue. Because he feels himself, it's labbaik Allahumma labbaik. Where is this one? Singing song, labbaik, and he's watching the other one's doing it. And then maybe he will participate. You know the groups of singers? Opposite group of singers. And this one saying something. Okay, we'll show you now. Inna alhamda. Wallahi, you don't feel that. You don't feel that sort of in the heart. It's nothing. It becomes ritual. And that's why he said it 5 times and he'll sleep. Khalas. Said it 3-4 times and that's it. You want a good example of that? In the Eid. How many people they make the Eid Tahleel? Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha. How many people? People, they just come in the masjid and sit down or outside in the hall. They don't know nothing. They're just waiting for those bandits. So group singers. They're saying Allahu Akbar and he's sitting down looking at them, watching them. He's supposed to be, he's the one who's participating. The takbir, not the one who's holding the microphone. It's you. You saying the takbir. You are the one who's participating. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah. Labbaika ilah al-Halq and the Talbiyah as well. The Prophet ﷺ, he accepted those talbiyahs as well, along with the other one. The other one is the original ones. This one to add to it. So sometimes you get bored to repeat something all the time. So this one makes you to go from one to shift to another one. لبيك ذا المعارج لبيك ذا الفواضل لبيك وسعديك والخير بيديك والرغباء إليك والعمل لبيك مرغوبا أو مرهوبا لبيك ذا النعماء والفضل الحسن. Change. That would help you inshallah. طيب. It is permissible as well with your talbiyah La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah, to mix it with La ilaha illallah. This talbiyah is obligatory to say it with loud voice. Loud voice, as the Prophet said. Loud voice. Amarani. Salam, he had commanded, Allah commanded to say the Talbiyah what? Loud. Companions to lose their voices just about 36 miles away from the miqat. This Talbiyah should be continued all the way until the Haram. But if you are busy, you could just, as soon as you see the houses of Mecca, now you want to get ready for entering the Haram. طيب. Saying the Talbiyah in groups is against the Sunnah. So some people say labbaik together. If you said it and your brother synchronized with you, no problem. But just to make it as all the way synchronization, brother, synchronize, don't do Talbiyah on your own, that's not correct. But usually it is the case, the one who shouts the loudest, everybody will be with him. Usually it is the case. That's normal. Prophet ﷺ, he said the best of Hajj is the Hajj which has got Hajj. Thajj. Thajj means slaughtering. Hajj means loud voice. Talbiyah. Every person makes Talbiyah, everything beside him, on the right, on the left, the trees, the stones, everything on the earth will make Talbiyah along with him. For women on their menses, they do everything as we said, and there's no difference in between them and the men in respect of raising their voices and the Talbiyah, unless there's a fitna. Fitna means the voices are really causing the men now not to focus upon the Talbiyah, to focus upon the ladies' voices. Okay? But if there is no fitna, Aisha should to make the Talbiyah loud until the people would hear and her distinguish her voice. Prohibition of the Ihram. Once you are in state of Ihram, the following things you have to make sure that you don't put them on, which is you cannot put sewn clothes such as shirt, turban, hoodie, cloak, trousers, underwear, socks, khuf. Okay? So this thobe, I'm not allowed to put it on when I'm in state of Ihram. I could use it as a fleece, a blanket, but don't put my hands through it. Could just use it like a blanket on top of it, no problem. Cannot cover the head with something like a hat or a topi, or cannot put gloves on. And women can wear their normal clothes without specifying colors, but cannot cover their faces with veils that is tied up, and they cannot cover their hands in the presence of men, and they could do cover their faces in normal cases. This is a piece of cloth goes on top of their face, not to be wrapped back, just to be hanging out like that, just for the sake of not showing their face if they wish, but not to tie it up at the back. If there is no men, take it out. And from the prohibitions of the Ihram, perfume, not allowed to perfume. In terms of cleansing, you're not allowed to remove any hair from any part of your body. You should not clip your nails. Okay, now regarding this issue, which is removing hair from the body or clipping the nails. When the person is going for Hajj, and he's the head of the family, and part of his family is still back home, so he's going to Hajj, he has two animals to sacrifice. One which is the hadi for his Hajj tamattu, he's making tamattu there, and the second one is al-udhiyah, because his family is back home. That's different from the hadi, two animals. The hadi is for himself, and the udhiyah is for whom is what? For his family. This udhiyah could slaughter it, it's better to be where his family is, here in England. Or he could do it wherever he wants. But it's better to be for the children to eat from it. Now the Prophet ﷺ, he said, regarding the person whom the udhiyah is obligatory upon him, the head of the family, as soon as he sights the moon indicating the beginning of Dhul Hijjah, that's the night before the first of the Hijjah, he has to abstain from 2 or 3 things. And that is cutting the hair from anywhere. Number 2, cutting the nails. And number 3, peeling off the skin until he slaughters his what? His udhiyah. So this head of the family who is doing Hajj, he's not allowed to cut the hair, no cut the nails, not peeling off the skin until his udhiyah is being slaughtered, whether udhiyah has been slaughtered at home or anywhere in the country or anywhere in the globe. Now watch. If he did his Umrah during the days of the Hijjah, because you're going to do it before Hajj. If he did it within the days of the Hijjah, he's going to start with Ihram, then he's going to do the Tawaf, he's going to do the Sa'y, and he's going to do the what? Trimming, cutting the hair. Only he's allowed, for the sake of stating that there's no Ihram, to stop his Ihram, to finish his Umrah, he's allowed to cut his hair. Not his nails, not his skin, until his udhiyah is slaughtered. So here he's got two things: prohibition of cutting the hair, and obligation to cut the hair for the sake of finishing the Umrah. So we say, if just for that sake, you cut the hair and nothing else. For the sake of the what? For the sake of declaring no state of Ihram and finishing the Umrah. And once you cut the hair once, you're not allowed to cut it twice, until your udhiyah is slaughtered. But if you're not the head of the family, it doesn't matter. From the prohibition as well, intercourse and wedding. Should not wed or make marriage proposal for yourself or others. Hunting. You should not hunt or assist someone to hunt. You should not kill animals except those who are harmful. Mice, lice, snakes, scorpions. And fishing is allowed. So if you're going by the sea and you want to fish, no problem. Even if state of Ihram, fishing is allowed. Expiation for violation of Ihram prohibitions. Now, what are these expiation? Because the scholars, they said, some of them, that if you leave an obligation, if you remember, you did not make the Ihram from the Mawaqeet, from the place of Ihram, and you went and you refused. Some of the scholars, they said you have to slaughter an animal. Some of them said no. Well, we have now 4 categories where there is dam, slaughtering, which is violation. And these are, we have consensus upon them. And that is marital relations. If you had marital relations instead of Ihram, the following will imply. Camel, if a sexual intercourse took place before first tahallul. What is first tahallul? We'll tell you inshallah when we come to the Hajj in the second session. And that is before you did anything, before you threw the jamarat. If you made sexual intercourse with your wife, camel, fidya, and in addition, Hajj is void, invalidated. And he needs to perform the Hajj the following year as a penalty. Even if it's a voluntary, you have to do it again. As if he did it after the first tahallul, but before the second tahallul, sheep fidya. Hajj is valid. No fidya for wedding. Hunting, if you hunted an animal, let's say you were hunting deer while you were state of Ihram, then you have to pay a penalty. You have to be penalized, and you have to pay an animal which is equivalent, like a sheep or ram, regardless whether this deliberate or not deliberate. Cutting the hair due to illness or lice, then you have to pay a fidya, and that is a choice between fasting 3 days, feeding 60 people, or slaughtering a hadi, sheep, cow, or camel in the Haram of Makkah. If there is no valid reason, then you're going to be sinned, and repentance is required in addition to the fidya. Restrained due to injury. You did not say the words, if you remember, Allahumma mahilli haythu hadastani, O Lord, O Allah, I declare state of no ihram wherever you restrain me. If you didn't say these words, you have broken your arm, you couldn't continue. If you decided to go put your normal clothes and call it off, then you have to pay a penalty by slaughtering a hadi in the place where you have been restrained, where you had a broken leg and you can't continue, unless he said the condition along with his talbiyah. Permissible things in ihram: no harm in using umbrella, no harm in carrying your baggage on top of your head, not for the sake of shading, for the sake of carrying your bag. Wearing sandals that do not cover the ankles, no problem. If you have only shoes that covers the ankles, then there is no need to cut them below the ankles. If cold, you could put your hands into your ihram clothes, no problem. And wearing a ring or a watch is no problem. And wearing A hearing aid, a speech aid is no problem. Wearing an eyeglass, sunglass, a contact lens. Cleanse yourself with cleaners, even they are scented, is no problem. Washing your ihram garment or put a new one, no problem. Wearing a belt, you keep your money, no problem. Using a mask to the face when there's a virus or there's dust, no harm to touch the black stone, even if it's perfumed. No, there is a harm to shake the hand of somebody who's perfumed. Pitfalls of Ihram. Crossing the miqat without ihram violates a wajib. Thinking that the ihram is putting the two towels, no. Making the intention of Hajj or Umrah or both is an essence of ihram. It's not just putting the two towels. You could put the towels now, you're not state of ihram. Thinking that is the sunnah to make 2 rak'ah before ihram, this is only when you go from the Hulayfa. Thinking that the ghusl or the wudu is a condition of ihram, it is not. You could make labbaik Allahumma bi umrah without even wudu, no problem. Uncovering the right shoulder at the ihram and during all the Hajj Umrah is all of a bid'ah. It is only to do it during the Tawaf of arrival, as we can explain inshaAllah. Pitfalls of Ihram, also thinking that anything that has stitches is forbidden to wear during Ihram. No, only sewn clothes which are made to fit the limbs are forbidden. This is stitched as well, there's lots of stitches in it. Okay, so women thinking that Ihram requires particular clothes or white clothes, no. Okay, there's no such thing. Only they're required to uncover their face and hands. Starting the Hajj or Umrah and quitting before completing it, you're not allowed to do so. Now we're going to the Masjid al-Haram. Let's just, before we go to the Masjid al-Haram, have a little break and show you how to put the Ihram clothes. Yeah, you can go with me. This is only for men. Okay. Now, when you put the ihram clothes, as we said, we clean underarms and between the legs, shave everything, pubic hair. It's good to have the Vaseline, as I said, and lubricate. Very important. After the lubrication, you have nothing now on. You have to completely strip. That means nothing, no underwear. Spread your leg a bit. The reason behind this, when you wrap this, it give you more space to move. If you did like this and you wrapped it, you're going to be walking like that. So you just give a space like that. So in order for you to give more space between your legs, and you put the following. So this one, you start by covering. You're going to have double-sided on this area. So you start with the right side like this, okay? Okay, like that, and then wrap. So you have double. Okay, and then here, you don't have to have any pens. You don't need to. If I did like this now, I'm gonna wrap it outwardly like that. Okay, like this. Now this is so strong, it will not go off. You could run, you could play kung fu. Yeah? It will not go off. I'm telling you, khalas. The way you wrapped it, not inside, outward. Okay, and that will cover up to your navel. And then the second part, you're gonna need at least 1 pen. 2 pens would be good. So of course you're gonna have no topi, you know that. So you make this equal to each other like that, and then put this there. Okay, this one. Okay, right? And now you put a pen. Have you got a pen here? Just 1 pen here. To hold this to this together. The inside and this outside. And then the other one is here. And another pen there. So you got 2 pens. Don't do like these people who are They make it like a shirt. So they put pin here, pin here, pin here. That becomes sewn. It becomes Mawaqeet. It's not allowed. So it's just to hold it from there and there. The good thing about this, you're free to do whatever you like. And also, when you make the Talbiyah later on, which is showing the right shoulder, all I have to do, I don't have to take the pins up. I just put my hand through this, like this, and I slide it back like that. Okay? When I want to make the Talbiyah, as easy as possible. Make things easy for you. Don't use lots of pins. 2 maximum. Okay. I think I'm done with this. Jazakallahu khairan for providing your towels. Let's go to the Masjid al-Haram now. Okay, this is an old picture. Right, I'm going to skip that picture. I'm going to go to the new one. That's the new picture of the Haram with the extension. There's a huge difference, by the way. Okay, here is the Safa, and here is the what? Marwa. This is Safa and Marwa, between them. And here is the Kaaba. For those who doesn't understand the whole story about it, Kaaba was built by Ibrahim alayhi salam and Ismail alayhi salam, both, only 2 built the Kaaba. They killed the Kaaba in the middle of, there's no, it's a valley, no zara', nothing, no grass, nothing there. Okay? Right. When they built it, Ibrahim alayhi salam used to be on top of a stone to, because he has to have to be high. Ismail brings the stone, he builds. While he was going to that stone to make sure that he will build on top of it, he left a trace. That's called Maqam Ibraheem. This Maqam Ibraheem was next to the Kaaba, and then were pushed later on. At the time Umar al-Khattabi pushed it back so he could make passage for the what? For the people to make Tawaf. It was pushed back. And that's why you find now the golden thing that is where the Maqam Ibraheem is in it. The trace of Ibrahim alayhi salam. Safa and Marwa is basically, these are the 2 hills. They're not mountains, hills. They were to be hills. They're not hills anymore. This is where, when the Prophet Ibrahim, he left his wife Hajar and her baby Ismail, and he gave him a little bit of food, and then he left. The story cut it short, that her baby started starving because she had no milk to give him. She started looking for food. So she went on top of the Safa, that's the nearest hill, which is a natural thing. A person will go towards something which is high in order to look. And she started looking, nothing. Made dua, nothing. Went down, there's a downhill, that's in the middle, the downhill here, in the middle, down, and tucked her close in order to accelerate to the following hill, which is Marwa. That's Marwa here. There's no hills, as I said, these days. It's flat. Okay, it's just almost flat. Goes to the Marwa. And she did the same thing, dua, nothing there, until she made finish 7. So around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. She ended where? In Marwa. That's when Jibreel salam came to her. And that's when Zamzam water is being given by the wing of Jibreel salam. Okay? Now this Kaaba was built, when it was built by Ibrahim alayhi salam, there was the stone corner, which is the strongest. Allah sent the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Ibrahim, the stone which was white as snow. Who made it black? The sins of the kuffar. It was white. When Ibrahim sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he put it, it was white. And the black stone is there. You see that corner there, which is opposite to the Safa? Okay, that's the black stone there. Okay, that's the black stone. Now we're gonna talk about that inshallah in a minute when we come to the Kaaba clearly. Let's just go to the Kaaba. That's the Kaaba. Right. This Kaaba is not the same Kaaba as being built by Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam. This Kaaba, by the way, is being renovated and maintenance and all of that. But in terms of size-wise, this is the Kaaba which was built by people of whom? No. By Abdul Malik ibn Marwan, by al-Hajjaj bin Thaqaf. He's the one who built it this way. So this is being built like this. But this is the same shape as was built by the people of Quraysh, but not the Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam. Prophet Ibrahim, he built it with him Ismail. He built from there all the way and including that semicircle. Can you see that one? So that Kaaba was really extended up to here. And it had two doors. What is now, it's got what? One door, there it is. And the two doors were stuck to the ground. And the black stone is here. That's the cornerstone in this side. This black stone, it was white, as we said. Just before the Prophet of Allah became a prophet, when he was at the beginning of, when he was born, there was a deluge. You know what a deluge means? Flood. Destroyed the Kaaba. Cut the story short, because it's a fascinating story, because they wanted to rebuild the Kaaba again. Okay, because all of them, they were really, what should we do now? Rebuild it again, demolish it, or not to touch it? Because they were scared when there was, because they seen with their own eyes what happened to Abrah al-Ashram and his army, the mighty army with the elephant. How happened to them, and Allah will destroy them when they want to destroy the Kaaba. They were really scared what to do. Shall we rebuild the Kaaba and put it down and rebuild it again? They were so scared. And he didn't let one of the people of Quraysh, you do it. Okay, so they let him to do it, to see if something had happened to him. Waiting. Come on guys, nothing happened. No, we'll wait until tomorrow. Maybe something happened to you tonight. They waited until the following day. They were really worried what was going to happen. Even they were polytheists, kuffar. But they know that this house has been protected. So when nothing happened, they rebuilt it again. And they wanted to rebuild it with what? With halal money, because they got haram money. They know. They got prostitute money, they got gambling money, and they know they can't build it from the haram money. They have to build it from what? Halal money. Halal money couldn't build the whole of the Kaaba. They built 2/3. They built from there up to here. And the rest made what? A circle like that, because they couldn't build it. It was short. The money, halal money was short. Even the kuffar, they don't want to build the Kaaba from the haram money, subhanallah. They know. So, when they built this semicircle, when they came to the Hajar al-Aswad, they were in dispute. Who's got the honor from the tribes of Quraysh to put it in? And they settled that the person who comes from that door, from that gate, they will give him the go-ahead to arbitrate. And it was Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam before he received his revelation. As soon as they saw him, as-Sadiq al-Amin, the truthful, the trustworthy, he suggested that they put that stone in a piece of cloth, and each member of each clan from the tribes to hold an end of that cloth. They carried it and they put it there, and the Prophet with his own hands, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he's the one who placed it in its place. That's the black stone. Cut it short, the black stone was stored in, by the way, for 22 years by people called al-Qaramita. And their story, they're shayateen, these people. They stored it for 22 years. They took it away from Hajar al-Aswad because they wanted people to make Hajj to their place. They had the stone there with them. Now this is now, can you see that golden thing there? Can you see it? That's Maqam Ibraheem. Maqam Ibraheem was not there. Where was it? It was here, next to where? The Kaaba. Pushed number of times to make space for the people to make what? Tawaf. That's Maqam Ibraheem. That's the door of the Kaaba. That's the black stone. That's, now let's just see it. Door of the Kaaba. Maqam Ibraheem. Who hasn't been here for, put your finger, the one who has never been to Kaaba before. Put your finger up please. Have you been to Kaaba before? Can you just come here please? Only this side, I've told them, the one who has been to the Kaaba, no, I've never been to the Kaaba. I want you to be here please. The one who has never been to the Kaaba, please, can you just be here, all of you? The one, no.
I've been already anyway.
The ones who have never been here. You don't understand me. You've never been. You have never been here. You've been somewhere there.
You make me a little confused.
I'm not kidding. Everybody knows what I'm talking about except for you. Because you were in the middle. This is, I've told these people, can I ask you brothers, come, the ones, the back. You've never been there? You never been? 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 Never been? Come here forward please. Come, both of you. Come on, come on. Here you've been, yes? You never been? Okay, you never been? You've been. Here everybody's been, yes?
Yes.
Please, if you've never been, come to this side. I want to ask, I want to focus upon you so you could learn. Please focus on the Kaaba. Look at it properly. The door, Maqam Ibraheem. The door is being made up by the people of Quraysh. Why? Because they want to make the person only the one whom they accept to go inside. From the kings, the monarchs. Pay fee, money. They give him the ladder and he goes up. And the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ wanted the Kaaba to be what? Door is down. And they couldn't do it. He told Aisha, because maybe if I do it, they will think that I have demolished the religion of Ibrahim. Even he was in control of the Kaaba. He said, لولا أن قومك حديثوا عهد بجاهلية لهدمت الكعبة. Had it been that your people of Quraysh is close to Jahiliyyah, I already demolished the Kaaba. ولا بنيتها على قواعد إبراهيم, and I put it on the basis of the foundation of Ibrahim, made it full. ولا أدخلت الحجر, I made the Hijr as part of the Kaaba. This is called Hijr, by the way. You're going to see it now in a minute. That's the Hijr. Or it's called Hashim or Hatim, the destroyed wall. People call it Hijr Ismail. When I used to be a kid, they said, Hijr Ismail, maybe Ismail was inside it. Ismail, when he was there, he was not the Kaaba. Kaaba was built after Ismail grew up. There's no such thing called Hijr Ismail. So, I would have made the Hijr part of the Kaaba, and I made 2 doors, people to go in, people to come out. But the Prophet of Allah did not do it. But who did it? Abdullah ibn Zubayr. When he was the mayor of Mecca, one of the Sahaba, he's having the Kaaba and is within his capability. So he made the people and he told the people, Aisha was alive. Aisha, she said, yes, I've heard this hadith of the Prophet of Allah. She's his auntie. And he told the people, what should we do? Some of them said, no, we should leave it. Some said, and he said, I'm going to make istikhara for 3 days. After 3 days, he said, I'm going to what? Demolish it and rebuild it according to what the Prophet of Allah wanted. And it was built. Complete. But when he was defeated and was killed by al-Hajjaj, Hajjaj wrote a letter to Abdul Malik ibn Marwan. You know, Abdullah ibn Zubayr, he made a bid'ah. He made a new Kaaba. So he said, return the Kaaba as it was. As at the time of the people of Quraysh. So they demolished the Kaaba and they put a Hijr again and they made it as the way that the Prophet doesn't want it like that. At the end of the era of Abdul Malik ibn Marwan, he had realized, and some of the scholars said, no, he knew from the beginning that Abdullah ibn Zubayr was upon the Sunnah. Then at the time of Imam Malik, the Khalifa had asked him, should we rebuild it upon what Abdullah ibn Zubayr wanted? He said no, because I'm scared now it's going to become a game. One king demolishes and the other one rebuild. Leave it. And it was left until today. Like that. This is the black stone corner. This is called Yemeni corner. Corner means Yemeni. That means facing Yemen. Actually, these 2 corners are called Yemeni corners. Black stone corner and the Yemeni corner they are facing Yemen. But they call the black stone to distinguish the Yemeni corner. Shami corner towards Syria and Jordan. And this one Iraqi corner facing Iraq. And these 2 corners are not corners. Remember, they are in the middle of the house. That's why you're allowed to touch Yemeni corner, black stone corner, but you're not allowed to touch what? Shami corner or Iraqi corner. Because they're not what? They're not corners. Because they're not, the house is not complete. If they were built up to here, yeah, you could touch them. These 2 corners, Shami and Iraqi, they're called Shamiyan, 2 Shami corners. But to distinguish one is Shami, one is Iraqi. Okay? Khair, inshallah. Zamzam, we're going to be finished now. Don't worry, look at what. We're going to be finished, inshallah. Zamzam water to Safa. What time is that, Maghrib? 8 o'clock.
No.
9:50.
So look at the what, so maybe it's Maghrib. Right, Zamzam water to Safa. This direction is to Safa. This is to Zamzam. This is to Marwa. Okay. Now this is a picture. Now the picture is from the other side of the Kaaba to confuse you. Right, to start from the beginning. Brother, you've never been to the Kaaba. What is this? Shh, you.
Me?
Yes.
That is a Maqam Ibraheem.
Well done. Maqam Ibraheem. Focus. What is this? It's pointing to that semicircle. Shh. Anybody from those here? Not here.
Ismail.
Huh?
Ismail.
Ismail? I'm saying that Ismail Hajr saying Ismail. Huh?
Shami.
No corner. This is not into the corner. This is not to the corner. Yes. Al-Hijr. Well done. Al-Hijr. Another name for it?
Hatim.
Or another name?
Hashim.
Hashim. 3 names. Hijr, Hatim, Hashim. The one with the glasses.
Yemenian. Shami.
Black stone. Well done. He's focusing. Black stone. The brother on the chair. What is this? The brother on the chair. You in the chair. Brother. You just said Hajr Ismail, you made a mistake. Yes? Yemeni corner. Please don't say anything, but I want to ask. The brother on the wall. Shh.
Shami corner.
Well done, Shami corner. The one in the here, the one who's got left his lights on for the car. MashaAllah. Where are you from? You're not Iraqi, huh? طيب. Now, anybody would like to tell me, put your finger up, where is this direction? Put your finger up if you know. Yes? Well done, Zamzam. Anybody will tell me which direction is this one? Shh. Yes? Safa. Well done. MashaAllah, paying attention. Impressive, very impressive. Right, this is now inside the Kaaba. I don't think you've ever been inside the Kaaba. I have never been seen inside the Kaaba. It's got 6 pillars, by the way, inside the Kaaba. This is the flood that took place during all times. Can you see this person? He's making tawaf swimming. Can you see him? Swimming, yes, really, mashallah, lots of water here, lots of water. Now we come into the first thing from the Umrah, Tawal Al-Qudoom, which is the Tawaf of the arrival. Tawaf means circumambulation, rotation. Summary. This is the Tawaf Al-Qudoom. Means arrive at the Masjid Al-Haram, you start with a black stone, you rotate, you make 2 sunnah al-Diba' and Ramal, and pray 2 rak'ah behind the Maqam. Rak'atain Tawaf. That's the Tawaf. Let's just see it. Arrive at the Masjid Al-Haram. It is sunnah to make a ghusl before you enter Mecca. So when you go to the hotel, make a ghusl with the intention of entering Mecca. You could enter the gates of any gate. Prophet entered from Banu Shayba, but any gate. You may enter the masjid from any gate, and you say the following dua, just like when you come to this masjid. Bismillah, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad, wa maftah li abab wa rahmatik. You come towards the Kaaba. Once you see the Kaaba, you raise your hands. You say the following dua, Allahumma anta salam wa minka salam fahayyina rabbana bis salam. Like this. Once you see the Kaaba, Allahumma anta salam wa minka salam fahayyina rabbana bis salam. Still you are dressed up in the haram clothes. The women is with you as well. You haven't shown your right shoulder yet. Okay? Because you're going towards the Kaaba. Right. Now, once you go to the Kaaba, you go straight to the black stone. When you go to the black stone, then I would say to you, don't kiss, nor touch, nor get close. This is too much for you now. You just go and make gesture. As close to the front, even though it's far. Bismillah, Allahu Akbar. That's what you're going to say. What is going to say? Bismillah, Allahu Akbar. That's it. Even if you said Allahu Akbar and so on, and only once. Bismillah, Allahu Akbar. People make congestion. Why? Because they stop and face it and say Bismillah, Allahu Akbar. Bismillah, Allahu Akbar. Bismillah, Allahu Akbar. Look how many seconds they waited. And the congestion. And that's when the people congested. But when they said Bismillah, Allahu Akbar and move, nothing happens. And that's where the patience has to be. So, if you go to touch it, don't touch it during, maybe voluntary, when you come to voluntary tawaf, go and touch it if you can. Then you could touch it, you could kiss it, you could touch it and kiss your hand. You could prostrate on it if you can. It's very hard during the Hajj time. You do not have to touch the black stone for your tawaf to be accepted. Do not push the crowd. Pushing the crowd is a harm, but kissing the stone is recommended. Right. Excellence of touching the black stones. Allah will send the black stone on the day of resurrection. It's got two eyes, can see, and a tongue to speak, and He will only testify for the person who touched it in the right manner. And it will clear your sayyat, touching the black stone or touching the Yemeni corner. Black stone, this is history. I'm going to skip that. Okay. Qudoom means arrival, tawaf around the Kaaba. Start from the black stone, Kaaba being on your left. Go around the Kaaba, past the black stone. Kiss, prostrate, don't make a gesture now, we don't want to kiss. And two sunnah applies to this tawaf. Men only, not for the women. Al-Ramal. What is Al-Ramal? Brisk walk. First 3 round from black stone to Yemeni corner. Al-Ramal means what? Brisk walk. Got it. So that's the brisk walk. So this is the Kaaba. I could do like this. Even my wife could be with me. Okay. So I'm just like doing with strength. It's not hugging. It's not running. It's just a brisk walk. So it's not like it's walking. A brisk walk. It's like showing that I'm power. And where it is, from the black stone. This is the black stone. Where's the Yemeni corner? Yemeni corner. That's the black stone. Where's the Hijr, guys? Which side now? This side. That's the Hijr. Right. So, when I do the brisk walk, it's from this side, that side, and up to here, walking normally. Then the second round, then the third round. Only 3 rounds and the 7 rounds. From there to there, and here walking normally. What's the reason behind this? Sorry, sisters have to listen. What's the reason behind this? It's actually when the Prophet ﷺ and the companions wanted to do Umrah, which is Umrah al-Hudaybiyah. Kuffar of Quraysh prevented them from finishing the Umrah. And they told them that we can't just come like this. You have to, make a deal with us. You have to ask for permission. Go back. They had to go back. And they agreed that they will do their Umrah the following year. And in the following year, the people of Quraysh will empty Kaaba for them for 3 days, so that the Muslims will make the Tawaf. So in the year 7 after Hijrah, the following year, Prophet of Allah came, and all those who were with him the 6th year came with him as well. The Quraysh, when they went to the mountains for 3 days. And the mountains are on this side. Remember, this is the black stone, this is Yemeni corner, this is the Hijr, and the Quraysh is on that side. So when they came, they started making rumors, the people of Quraysh, that the Muslims are struck with the fever. That means they're vulnerable, very weak. So the Prophet of Allah, he said to the Muslims, the companions, we have to show them they were not vulnerable, we're strong. That's the brisk walk came from, to show them we're strong still, even though we crossed 400 kilometers, 250, 60 miles. We're still strong. So, because the people of Quraysh were on this side, they could only see 3 sides of the Kaaba. That's the brisk walk, brisk walk, brisk walk, brisk walk. Oh, they can't see us here, walk. Do you understand that? Brisk walk, brisk walk, brisk walk, brisk walk, walk. That's how it was. Now there is no Quraysh and Kuffar and all, but still we're doing it. We're still doing it because of that. And it's only in this tawaf, no other tawaf. Later on, tawaf, voluntary tawaf, ifada tawaf, just for this tawaf, Tawal Al-Qudoom. When you make Umrah, when you make the first time the Hajj, that's it, the first tawaf, that's it. First 3 rounds, from black stone to the Yemeni corner. Okay? Second sunnah applied to this tawaf only, it's called al-Iddiba'. What is al-Iddiba'? Is taking your right shoulder out, exposing it. And this is only in the 7 rounds. So before it's a bid'ah, and leaving it afterward is a bid'ah. So when you come to that, then you put it outside, you do the 7th tawaf. As soon as you finish the 7th tawaf, before you do the prayer of the 2 rak'ah, you cover your shoulder. But you find some people, they are exposing their shoulder from England all the way and up to they come back. Shoulder is out. They think this is the Hajj position. طيب. This is where the tawaf, this is a sketch for making the tawaf. See the hijr? That's the hijr here. طيب. Tawaf, state of wudu is required for all kinds of tawaf. That's the correct opinion. So you have to be in state of wudu. Menstruating women does not make tawaf until she becomes clean. All kinds of tawaf, including optional tawaf, consist of 7 circuits around the Kaaba, finishing with 2 rak'ah behind the maqam. Behind the maqam means making the maqam between you and the Kaaba. Doesn't mean behind it, it has to stuck to it. No, as far as you can from behind. Okay, the Kaaba should be on your left. Do not tawaf with your back right to the Kaaba. Tawaf should be performed within the boundaries of the Masjid al-Haram, and also touch the Yemeni corner if you can. You don't have to, but touching the Yemeni corner without saying Bismillah Allahu Akbar, you just rub it like this. And as I said, I don't really advise anybody doing the Hajj for the first time to do it unless you're doing it tawaf voluntary, but not in your Tawal Al-Qudoom. طيب. Do not face your hand to the Yemeni corner and say Allahu Akbar like this. Do not do like this. Bismillah Allahu Akbar. It's only for the black stone. Do not touch the Shami corners or the Iraqi corners. You can say the Prophet ﷺ dua between the Yemeni corner and the black stone, which is رَبَّنَا أَتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ. Oh Allah, give us good in this life and good in the hereafter, and save us from the punishment of the fire. And there is no particular dhikr or tawaf for tawaf, like tawaf round 1, tawaf round 2, dua. There's no such thing. Do not follow those dua books that make up specific dua for each circuit, and make dua by yourself. Do not do it in shouting groups. Unfortunately, when you are in Hajj or Umrah in Ramadan, you hardly can concentrate and focus on your own dua. You're making your own dua, and then suddenly Turkish people shouting, and then after that Iranian people third group, African people I call them shouting groups. They disturb you. There's one person in the front and he's making shouting, and the people behind repeating, and all of them, and when you're next to them you can't make it ru'an. Innal hamda Allahumma. Some of them, they read a booklet and they don't understand, because like they're Pakistani, they could say the letters, but they don't understand the Arabic because the same letters. So you could read the booklets exactly as it is. Some of the booklets I've seen them, they got the dua, and the dua is too long, which is not from the Sunnah, too long, and it's 1 page, and then to the following page is a continuation. So the page here, and then you have to flick the page to continue it. At the end of that page, there is Arabic which says iqlib as-safha, turn the page over. So this person is Allahumma iqlib as-safha. They're repeating behind him. Because he doesn't know what he's saying. Do you understand me? Turn the page over, they repeat. Because they're reading everything on that page. This is tawaf number 1, tawaf number 2, tawaf number 3. All of that not from the Sunnah. طيب. Do not wipe the walls in the Kaaba. You see people just mix wax. I don't know what they're doing. And that's why you find in the Hajj they raise up the cloth so high, because people might have scissors and cut some pieces from the cloth because they have a souvenir, take it home. They might sell it on eBay. Allah musta'an. It's holy shrine. Continue tawaf without interruption unless it is necessary. Otherwise will be void. That means necessary, like what, for example? Salah, dhuhr. Stop, make salah dhuhr. Then you continue where you are, like the call of nature. For example, you have to go to bathroom. Stop, go to the bathroom. Continue from after the wudu where you left it. But not because, second round, I'm hungry, let me go and eat chicken. You eat chicken, you have to start from the beginning, brother. Because it's not necessary. but it's to do with wudu or to do with salah. That's it. طيب. In case of that, how many circuits I've done? I've done 5, but I think maybe I've done 6. That 6 you're in doubt of, drop it and build upon what you are sure of. If you had any doubt after you finished, forget about it. Like for example, you finish the 7 rounds, and then after that, shaitan comes to you, tells you, maybe you haven't finished 7 rounds. Ignore that, unless you are sure. Al-Multazam. This is not part of the Tawaf, but this is an area where the people can really go there and perform the following action, which is putting their hands like that and the face and the chest onto the wall between the black stone and the door, not like these people hanging in the door. If you can't reach that area, you go as close as possible and make dua, but don't do it like this in the air. This is on the wall, okay? And you make a dua, and this is where the tears comes out. It's called Multazam. Maqam Ibraheem, this is the maqam. When you finish your 7th round, you don't say Bismillah Allahu Akbar. You only say Bismillah Allahu Akbar at the beginning of each round. So when you finish the 7th, you don't say Bismillah because you finished. You go straight away to Maqam Ibraheem. Cover your shoulder, because you've been in Diva'. Cover your shoulder and say the following words: وَاتَّخِذُوا مِن مَقَامِ إِبْرَاهِيمَ مُصَلَّى, which is a part of the ayah. And appoint for yourself a place of the prayer on the standing place of Ibrahim. So make Maqam Ibrahim between you and the Kaaba. Go as far as you can. And pray the 2 rak'ah with the following. Rak'ah first one, Al-Fatiha and Qul Ya Ayyuhal Kafirun. Second rak'ah, Fatiha and Qul Huwallahu Ahad. If you can't do Maqam Ibrahim between you and the Kaaba, anywhere in the Kaaba, inshallah, will be acceptable. 2 rak'ah. That's Maqam Ibrahim. Now you go to Zamzam. Zamzam used to be, we go into the well. There's no well now, just taps. Go to Zamzam. Any Zamzam tap water there. Drink, pour into your head, and you may say the dua of Abdullah ibn Abbas. Now this is an action where people, they skip after you finish Zamzam, and you put in your head and you say the dua, which we're going to tell you in a minute. You go back to the black stone. People go to Safa. So between Zamzam and Safa there's a black stone. What do? Leave Zamzam, go as close as possible to the black stone, point my head like this, Bismillah Allahu Akbar, and then go back to Safa. And as I said, people, they don't do that. Let's ask Imam Sahib, did he do that before?
No.
Imam Sahib? No. I know that. I'm not asking because I'm challenging, because I know. This is something skipped. It's a little tiny things. After Zamzam, black stone. Bismillah Allahu Akbar. If you can touch it, but you don't have to touch it, just as close as possible, and then go back to the Safa. Now what do I say in the Zamzam? Zamzam, Allahumma inni as'aluka ilman nafi'a wa rizqan wasi'a wa shifa'an min kulli da'. Translation of which, oh Allah, I ask you of beneficial knowledge, abundant provision, and cure from all diseases. Prophet of Allah made the Zamzam, he said, this is the best water on the face of the earth. Food for the food person, and also cure for the cure, the one who wants to make a cure. So Ma'u Zamzam is food. Abu Dhar stayed on Zamzam for 30 days. Nothing except Zamzam goes into his stomach. Yet he had big belly, became fat. تكسرت عكان بطنه. ما شاء الله. He had a big massive belly just because of Zamzam, 30 days. طيب. You go now after that to Safa wal Marwa. Safa, summary. Start with Safa, recite the ayah, make dhikr dua, walk to the Marwa. On the Marwa do the same thing, walk back to the Safa, second lap, complete 7 laps, and finish at the Marwa. That's the summary. Safa and Marwa. Now, Sa'y between Safa and Marwa, you know that the story is behind it, is our mother Hajar. When reaching the footsteps, or the foot of Safa, recite إن الصفا والمروة من شعائر الله فمن حج البيت واعتمر فلا جناح عليه أن يطوف بهما ومن تطوع خيرا فإن الله شاكر عليم. You only say it once. Then you say نبدأ بما بدأ الله به. We start with what which Allah began with. And you climb the Safa and you look at the Kaaba and you say the following: Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah. Lahul mulku wa lahul hamd. Yuhyi wa yumitu wa huwa ala kulli shay'in qadir. La ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah. Anjaza wa'dah وَنَصَرَ عَبْدَهُ وَهَزَمَ الْأَحْزَابَ وَحْدَهُ. All translation is on the left hand side. When you said this, then after that you raise up your hands. You make your own dua. Whatever dua is this. After dua of yours, 1 minute, 30 seconds, 22 minutes, 30 minutes, you put your hands down. Then you repeat that again. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah, to the end. Hazam al-ahzaba wahda. Then you put your hands up. Your own dua again. Then you put your hands down. Then Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah up. Wa hazam al-ahzaba wahda. So how many dhikr? 3 times. And how many dua? 2 times. In between. Your dua with your hands up, your dhikr with your hands down, looking at the Kaaba. That's how you finish now Safa. It takes you about 4 or 5 minutes. But people, they don't even stand that 2 minutes or 1 minute. 30 seconds. Even some of the people who are being taken by the, by that wheelchair. These two fast. These guys go, woo, and then just women, just miskeen, just like putting her hand, she can't even make dua, 7 another customer. I know, these days it became like funfair. You've seen them driving cars, enjoying themselves. I know that some of them they needed that, but some of them they're having a race. Yalla, me and my wife. Became now Safa Marwa what? Funfair. Then you descend from the Safa and start walking in the direction of the Marwa. Once you go to the green signpost, there's no green signpost now, it's all the green, mashallah, green lights now. These days, it's all of the green lights. This is the bottom of the valley. There's no valley now, it's straight. Prophet Allah said, لا يقطع الأبطح إلا شدة. This valley cannot be crossed except with running. So you run. If you have a wife, she doesn't run. Sister doesn't run. Mother doesn't run. You run, and then you wait to her on the other side. She comes walking. She joins you and you continue. Now there was no men and there's no cameras. We will tell the women to run because Hajj was running. We're doing as Hajj was doing. And then we go climbing up to the Marwa. And you do in the Marwa exactly the same thing you did in the Safa. You look at the Kaaba, but you cannot see the Kaaba there. The direction of the Kaaba, and you do Allahu Akbar until Hazam al-Ahzaba wahda. Raise up your hands again down, Allahu Akbar, Hazam al-Ahzaba wahda. Raise up your hands down, Allahu Akbar, third one, and then you move to Safa. Now, then you return to the ascend the Safa, then you return to the follow your steps. What does that mean? So if you're going on the side of the wall, keep it going from the side of the wall. If you're going from the middle, go from the middle. If you're going from the aisle, go from the aisle. But don't go from the side of the wall, then after that you go to the middle, and then you go to the... So let's say this is Safa and this is Marwa. So if you're going from this side, you go from that, there, and you come back in from this side. Don't go from this side now. You know the direction. Don't go like this. Follow your steps. That's the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. You follow your steps. Okay. Make your dua and the sa'i as follows. رَبِّ اغْفِرْ وَارْحَمْ إِنَّكَ أَنْتَ الْأَعَزُّ الْأَكْرَمُ. That's it. O Lord, forgive and have mercy on me. Surely you are the most noble, the most gracious, generous. You finish at Marwa. At Marwa there is no dua. Exactly like what we said. You remember the Tawaf? You only make the dhikr at the beginning of the Tawaf, not at the end. So when you finish the 7th round, you didn't say Bismillah, Allahu Akbar. Here, when you finish the Marwa, you don't say the dua again. The dua represents the beginning of that Tawaf, not the end of it. At the Marwa you don't say anything. You move out and you finished. And now you're coming to the last bit, the Taqseer or the Halq, shorten or trimming. If you're making Hajj, well, I would advise you to make the trimming, because you make the shaving later on when you make the Hajj. Now, the bald head does nothing. He doesn't have to put the razor on top of his bald head. You're going to get nothing, do nothing. So hair to be trimmed from all over, and I'm saying this because some people they do tick, 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 tick. Mabruk, no mabruk. That's not correct. It has to be from all over. You know, something like a barber cutting, not just tick, tick. Right, and also the sunnah is to start from the right to the of the head. And these people who cut your hair, mashallah, they're professional. They do it according to the sunnah, and I've seen them. The woman gathers her hair and then shortens it like a joint finger, like that. But she can't do it in front of the people. She has to go home to the hotel. Some people just stay there and the women just, people put her hand, subhanAllah, gets it out and she, what's this? You're in the haram and you're showing to the people, you're making hajj. No harm if someone, male or female, who is still in the state of ihram to shave or trim somebody who is in finishing the ihram. Do you understand me? It doesn't matter whether you're in the state of ihram. Everything that became forbidden to you upon entering ihram now becomes permissible. Khalas, finished, alhamdulillah. Last thing, pitfalls of the Sa'y. Raising the hands upon the Safa and the Marwa as in salah, like that. That's not correct, it's like this. And jogging all the way between Safa and Marwa is only when they were the green lights. Reciting the ayah every time you go to Safa is only once. And some pilgrims think that going to Safa to Marwa and then Marwa to Safa is one lapse, and they make it 14 instead of 7. Reciting a particular dua for every lap, there's nothing like that. Then alhamdulillah we finished. Then we're staying in Mecca. We're waiting until the 8th day of the Hijjah to start our what? Our Hajj. Our Hajj inshallah will be next week, and it's much less slides than this one, by the way. So what we have, maybe 60 slides and we'll be finished, alhamdulillah. Any other questions? Don't ask me about Hajj now. Ask me about what you have been taught to the Umrah. Tfaddal.
How do you make mistakes? How do you do Hajj without making mistakes? There's so much to remember.
How can I do Hajj without mistakes? You could do Hajj without mistakes by doing the following. If you are a person who's learned, you could read. And every time you do something, you read it. And if you're not a learned, you go with people who are learned. A scholar or student of knowledge or students of knowledge, you go along with them. But as I said, the people, they don't look at that. They look at the cheapest package in terms of money. They don't look who is going. Are they going to be teaching you? He's looking about comfortable of the pocket and comfortable of the luxury of the life and the nice hotels. And we're going to have ice cream. And we're going to have, toppings and all of that. He doesn't care about what? The food of the heart. What type of food are you going to give to my heart? I want to understand who is the person who's with me. But people, is it full board or half board? What are you going to give us? Fish and kebab? Or curry? That's what they care about. Cornflakes in the morning or Allahu Musta'an. It's important as well to learn about the deen. So ask yourself, when you went to the package, did you go look at the price? What do you usually look? If you're a learned person yourself, you don't have to worry. You're bound to make a Hajj perfect 100% alhamdulillah. Don't worry, as long as you go with somebody. Learn. Faddal.
What's the price? It's different. Like, one is 6,000, the other one is 11,000. What's the price different? Is it the same?
What is the price difference? The price difference is due to 2 facts. One fact which is rare, and that is you're paying for the brand, you're not paying for the service. Do you understand what's the brand? This well-known company. Because they're well-known, they know that lots of people coming to them. Okay? So it's like, for example, Sony device, and another device which is as good as Sony, but it's not Sony. You're paying for the what? For the brand. Too much money, whereas the other brand is exactly the same, but because it's not really known, it's cheap. So a brand, that's number one. But the other one, which is the other issue, which is most likely, is that to do with what they're going to offer you. In English we say, you give peanuts, you grow monkeys. Yes, you get monkeys. If you give peanuts, you get monkeys. So don't you ever think that the 3,000 is going to be the same Hajj as the one which is 5,000. No way. Either it's to do with the closeness of the hotel, how close it is, or to do with how good is the hotel in terms of beds, in terms of service, okay, in terms of how new, how good, in terms of the food as well, how good it is. They're going to give you meat or they're not going to give you meat? Is it full board or half board? Is it 3 meals or 2 meals? Also, that plays a big role, shifting or non-shifting. The word shifting or non-shifting. People, they don't understand that word. They say, non-shifting Hajj, such as shifting Hajj. They don't say shifting. The one who say does non-shifting, they put the non-shifting. Why? Because it's upgrade. The one who says shifting, they don't say that. They don't want to mention that this is shifting. Because If it doesn't mention, that means it's shifting. What is shifting, non-shifting? When you go to Mecca, you're going to have a hotel. But when you start the days of the Hajj, which is the 8th, the 9th, 10th, and the 11th, the shifting one, the hotel, they lock it. You don't have a hotel now. You have to go to Aziziyah. And you start living the 4 or 5 days in Aziziyah, in Mina, close to Mina. And that's in itself horrible. How? If you want to pray to the Haram, or you want to go to the Haram, it's too far. A lot of people. And if you have family, it's a nightmare. You're not going to be able to offer your prayers in the Haram. No way. If you're going to go from the Haram to the Haram, maybe it's cheap. But going from the Haram to the house, paying maybe 500 riyals a person. During the nights, which are really congested. Lots. And you're going to be ending up with lots of people with you. But the non-shifting, you have the Haram hotel with you all the time. So you're there next to the Kaaba. That's why it's maybe more expensive. You understand me? With other Aziziyah, it's cheaper. Always cheaper. The tents, some of the tents are like a room like this, they put 50 people. Some of the tents, they put 20 people. So which one do you like? The one with 50? Where when a person moves, he's put his hand and his leg on top of somebody else. You end up with somebody's foot on top of your face. Do you understand me? Or something which you got really comfortable, VIP. So, yeah.
So we went there to brother, no? We went there to,
Huh?
we're not going holiday now.
It doesn't go holiday. It's not holiday. Your Hajj doesn't mean, oh, the more hard upon me, the more rewardable. That's incorrect. Some people can go Hajj on foot. They can't afford a train. Hang on. If some people can afford a plane, it is not rewardable or more rewardable to go by foot. Not correct. Because you might end up dead before you arrive to the Haram. Do you understand me?
Yeah.
So if I can afford Hilton, I go Hilton. Because Hilton means I'm next to the Haram. Which means as well, during the day of the Jumu'ah, where you have to go 8 o'clock to get a place in the Haram. 8 o'clock just to get yourself a shade. Whereas if you have this hotel, you could go 11 o'clock, you could wake up, and you have this musalla, which is for the hotel, part of the Haram. See the difference? So what I'm just saying, you're not going for holiday is correct. But each person pays according to what his capability. I don't want to be, for example, in Mina or Muzdalifah, this Muzdalifah, people can bring you your company. You pay maybe £5,000 for a company, which is, we call it the inside company, just for the sake of the 3 days. Mina, Muzdalifah and Arafah. Because in Muzdalifah they give you, for example, air-conditioned room. Well, you're not going to have that in Muzdalifah. You're going to have that, remember the 100-star hotel. And the heat that comes from the ground, that it kind of make you sleep. I know you're not going to be for a holiday, but as I said, some of the people can't take it. Brothers and sisters? Barakallah fiik. So it depends. I'm not saying to say really luxury, but I'm just saying some of that is different with the price. So you look around, but as I said, at the same time, who's going with you, akhi? Who's teaching? You want to know. I want some reminders as well. I want to know and understand. Okay? Tfadl. If you go to Umrah or Hajj, as a woman, can you go with mahram, that is a Muslim, but is not doing Hajj with you? Yes. If this person is, for example, going to Mecca for business, here's your brother, your father, is going to Jeddah. And by the way, from Jeddah to Haram is not Safar, it's not. So he could take you to Jeddah, you want to go to the company, he's got work to do. Takes you there, and from there you go to Hajj. You don't need a mahram. Only mahram from here to Jeddah. Okay? It's no problem. What order do you go between Safa and Marwa? You start with Safa and then Marwa. Safa, Marwa, 7 rounds, you end up with what? With Marwa. Okay? نعم تفضل.
About miqat.
Miqat.
It is possible if someone, he look the distance. Maybe my miqat is, I come from north. So I look, it's too far. I go to this.
No. If you came from the miqat of, let's say for example, Al-Juhfa from the north, and you passed it, you may not go to Yalamlam or Qarn al-Manazil 50 miles. You don't want to go 127 miles. You're not allowed to do that. To go from the miqat you came from. That's called cheating. And by the way, if you are passing through two miqats, you make your ihram for the first one. So let's say your plane is going from Qarn al-Manazil and Datu Irq. Datu Irq is further away, so you can start from Datu Irq. You start from the further away. Now, تفضل.
There are people who do another Umrah on behalf.
Well done. We're going to be doing that in staying in Mecca. That is performing more than one Umrah. Is it allowed or not? And to answer this question, if you think they're going to do Umrah from where people they do Umrah from Masjid al-Tan'im or Masjid Aisha, then it's not allowed. For the verily, this is a Umrah that is being done by Aisha radiallahu anha because she hasn't performed Umrah. And what happened is that when she came with the companions and with the Prophet of Allah and with all his other wives, she had menstruated in a place called Sarif, not far away from Mecca. Because of that, she was even crying. What happened? Don't do it, Aisha. Just do everything the pilgrim. You're going to have Hajj. But don't make Tawaf. No circumambulation. So she stayed without Tawaf. So all her wives, the co-wives, the other wives, they made what? Umrah. She couldn't because she can't make Tawaf. So she stayed until the day of Arafah. On the day of Arafah, she cleansed, the blood stopped. She had her ghusl and she made Arafah, and then she made the Hajj with the Prophet ﷺ, the Hajj al-Ifada and all of that, Tawaf al-Ifada. Then when they wanted to go back to Medina, she started crying. Messenger of Allah, all of them, they make Umrah, and I don't just make Hajj on its own. All of them means the other wives. All of them means what? The other wives. Even the other wives, they make Umrah and only go with Hajj. So he said, okay, Abdul Rahman, her brother, go and take her to the hill. Hill means the border of the Haram. Take her to the hill and make her to make Umrah. Now, if the Umrah was allowed in that sense for everybody, every companion will have this opportunity. Hang on a second, we got to go to Medina. It's about 4 days ride. It's not like today, 4 hours ride, 4 days ride. All of us will make Umrah. Abdul Rahman took her on back of the camel, went all the way to the Tan'im. He himself did not make Umrah. Only her. She made the Umrah, where Abdul Rahman did not make Umrah. It's only for Umrah. So, as our Shaykh Al-Albani, rahimahullah, when somebody asked him this question, he said, this is Umratul Huyyad. This is the Umrah for the one who are menstruated. So if you menstruate, make the Umrah. If you don't menstruate, there's no Umrah. Okay? So it's menstruating Umrah. Women in that case like Aisha radiallahu anha. But if you want to do another Umrah, you could go to where? The Miqat. Dhul Hulayfa. All the way. Is it advisable? No. It is not advisable. Your Umrah, you have to be prepared for it like this now. It's not something, come on, I've got a car. Going, coming. Going and coming. Going and coming. That's not Umrah, akhi. I've seen people in front of my eyes, they were going to Masjid al-Tan'im, paying 5 riyals, coming back to make Umrah. Wallahi, these two together, talking to each other. How many Umrahs did he perform? He said 18. Another person said 21. 21 Umrah in one day. How many times he shaved his head? How many times did he pray in the Haram? He wasted all the prayers in the Haram. Going, coming. Subhanallah al-Adiyy al-Azim. هل أتاك حديث الغاشية وجوه يومئذ خاشعة عاملة ناصبة تصلى نارا. It reminded me of this verse. These people belong to the sect called al-Ahbash. I know them, Habashis. You know, they heard about Habashis. Habashi means Turkey, but they're not Turkey. Habashi is the person who's Abdullah al-Harari. They are a different sect, and that's how they do Umrah. So they incurred hardship upon themselves, and they lost how many prayers in the Haram? 100,000 prayer, multiples. They lost that. So if you want to do that, you go to that. Yes, there's one type of Umrah you could do, which is after you finish the Umrah, and then you wanted to do Umrah on behalf of your father who did not do Umrah, or your mother who did not do Umrah, then you could go to Masjid al-Tan'im and make Umrah. Not for yourself, for what? For father or the mother who did not do a Umrah. Now, تفضل.
The question is related to Jaffer's question. I've done my Hajj and something like one dinar and half a million pounds, which I believe
You know, somebody's coughing. I couldn't hear you again.
I've done the Hajj.
You have friend of Hajj? Huh?
No, I have already done Hajj.
You've done already Hajj, yes.
This, I want to do my on behalf of my father.
You ought to have to do it in your father. Doing Hajj on behalf of somebody else. That's what you're asking. First of all, that person who you're doing Hajj on his behalf, either he is dead or he's alive. If he's alive, then you only can make Hajj on his behalf because he's incapable. He cannot go. Physically he's capable. So he could allocate somebody and designate someone, whether it's his son or anybody, to make Hajj on his behalf. No problem. He's got the wealth. Go make Hajj behalf. This person made that, let's say he's got chronic illness. Subhanallah, he designated like his son or somebody else to go and make Hajj on his behalf. Somehow Allah Azza wa Jal what? Cured him. He's back on his feet. If he was able to catch that person who had designated him to make Hajj on his behalf before he started his Ihram, labbaik Allahumma bi Umrah, on behalf of so and so, then he has to catch him and stop him, and he would say to him, now I'll do bi Umrah on my behalf of myself. Okay? And now these days it's very easy. You've got phones now. You don't have to go and, like before, run behind him. Okay? Call him. So if you are a person being deputized, maybe it's better off to switch off your phone in case he gets healthy and they take the Hajj away from you. So if he calls you, you can't make a Ihram on his behalf. He has to make a Ihram for himself because he's got healthy. And if he is dead, we'll ask the question, why didn't he make Hajj or Umrah? Was he healthy and capable of making Hajj, but he refused to make Hajj because God forbid he was not a good man? You cannot make Hajj on his behalf. Do you understand me? Because he refused to make Hajj. It will not reach him. But he was rich but incapable of making Hajj, and he died. Or he wanted to make Hajj, but somehow the death took over. Then you could make Hajj on his behalf. But if he was a man, does not pray, does not want to make Hajj, doesn't care, and he died, you can't make Hajj on his behalf. I'm talking not about your father, I'm talking about in general. Once those conditions will be fulfilled, then the son or the daughter, they are the priority. They could deputize somebody else, and he has to say, when he says labbaik Allahumma bi Umrah, on behalf of so and so, he mentioned the name. طيب labbaik Allahumma bi Umrah an kada wa kada, on behalf of, he mentioned the name. Now, but you yourself had already made what? Hajj. Can I make Hajj on both me and him at the same time? No. So I could, for example, make two tawaf, one first tawaf for my father and first second tawaf for me. Stand on Arafah twice, step up, step in. Can't do that. It's making yourself first, then after that, on behalf of the person that you've done.
Nowadays people make Hajj for, let's say, parents who were not able at that time, financially or something like that, and they passed away.
You are allowed to make Hajj on behalf of a parents who were not capable of making Hajj. Hajj was not compulsory upon them anyway, but he wants to make a Hajj on his behalf. Was not capable, he's saying, financially, physically, If he wants to make Hajj on his behalf, no problem. But the only one you can't make Hajj on his behalf, where he was capable and everything, but he doesn't want to make Hajj. I cannot make Hajj on his behalf. There's no problem to make Hajj on behalf of that person. But unfortunately these days became Hajj on behalf of somebody else is business. You know? Business it became. It's not allowed, akhi. When you want to make Hajj on behalf of somebody else, the best thing is not to take money. Do it for the sake of Allah. That's number one, best. Second, you could, but you could take the money, which is what, for your journey. You don't take a profit. Brother, I'll make the Hajj. These are the Hajj expenses, and for my time, please, £50 an hour or £5 an hour or whatever. A'udhu billah. That's not business. People do that these days. Have you do that? They've done that? I don't know if they've done that or not, but maybe.
They said £1,000.
Huh?
Yeah.
£1,000?
They're offering, yeah.
They're cheap.
That's what they're offering.
That means this person is paying his own expenses. Was 1,000.
For those who are there.
No. For those who are there. No, someone who's going.
Oh, somebody's in Saudi Arabia. They're making money. This is business. That's making business.
So some of the people here, they say if you want someone to do Hajj or Umrah on behalf.
No, akhi. Don't do like this. You have to be trustworthy people whom you know. You don't know the guy. You haven't met the guy who make Hajj on his behalf. Just make Hajj. It became a Hajj online now. Hajj online. Akhi, Allah barik fikum. It's becoming like a ridiculous thing. Trade. Allah al-Musta'an. It's like washing the deceased. You know, washing the deceased, shrouding the deceased. It should be the estate looking after that. In Kuwait, if you die there, shroud, washing, grave, land, free. Saudi Arabia, same thing. Free. Don't pay anything. Here, you pay a fortune. Cost 3,000. Some of the bottles 5,000. Some of the and they're predicting now that 2022 is going to cost you 20,000, 17,000, 14,000. Costs in 20 years or 10 years. Allah musta'an. Not 22, sorry, 2040. 2040 is going to cost 22,000. That's the prediction.
Just following the question Ja'far asked.
Can we just say without following the question, Ja'far? You're asking following Ja'far, you're asking following Ja'far. Who was this following Ja'far? Just ask your question, because I can't remember what is the question.
Okay, I'll remind you.
Yeah.
You say if you're doing on behalf of your parent, you say their name or you say an Abi or an Ummi.
You could say an Abi or my father without mentioning his name. But if you're not his name, he's not his father, what are you going to do? If it's not your son, you're not his son, what are you going to do? You're going to mention his name. I can't just say on the brother. I don't mention his name.
Al-Maqsood.
Can I say in my own language or I have to say in Arabic?
What's that?
Can I say in Somali?
No, all the rituals of the Hajj in Arabic. Labbaik Allahumma bi Umrah. Look, Labbaik Allahumma bi Umrah in Arabic. After that, on behalf, Jing Jing Chung, Chinese, anything, it doesn't matter. As long Labbaik Allahumma bi Umrah. After the Ching Chung Chung name, his name is whatever name you want. Nah, whatever language you got. Nah.
The situation with people who borrow money to go to Hajj, or people have debts that choose to go to Hajj first, then pay the debts afterwards.
Is Hajj free? Sorry, debt-free condition for making Hajj? No. You can make Hajj. But we say, why should you make Hajj when you're in debt? Because it's not required from you. But you think you're going to get rich, mashallah, you're very good, and you're going to make, no problem. If you had debt and people calling you for the money, you have to ask their permission if their debt is due. You have to ask their permission. Now, Jazakallah khair for that question. سبحانك الله بحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك جزاكم الله خيرا وأحسن إن شاء الله see you next week بإذن الله.